Well, what else would you add cayenne to? I mean, there are so many ways it can be utilized.
I have a ginger snap cookie recipe with cayenne in it. That's
Ooh.
amazing.
Not helping yourself there, man. For a second there, I thought you were Air Force.
I have a very large bottle of cayenne infused olive oil.
Ooh.
Ooh.
You know, that actually is one thing about not your average Joes. They tend to use a heavy dose of red pepper flakes and mix it in with their olive oil that they give you as a dipping apparatus for their in-house baked bread. It's not terrible if you let them add the grated Parmesan cheese as well. Kind of tones down the pepper a bit. Otherwise, it just ends up being a bit too strong.
What was it I saw today? It was fried bacon wrapped Oreo.
That's a
How
combination
far
of things.
south are you again?
Not far enough.
He hasn't hit the
Depends
wall
on,
yet.
do they or down there where they deep fried butter?
Oh, hang on. Let me find it here in PA. They at the farm show they do every year. They have a giant butter sculpture.
Oh, okay. A sculpture is one thing. Again, straight up deep frying butter. That goes to a whole nother level. Like, for a while there, I thought funnel cakes and elephant ears at like the county and state fair were bad, and then I heard about deep fried Twinkies and just exactly that, deep fried butter. I thought people were like, I honestly thought it's like, oh, they batter and deep fry a butter pound cake. No, a stick of butter.
You know, so when I was on keto, I was doing the bulletproof coffee, which is a couple tablespoons of butter and blended in with coffee. And at first, I thought it would be horrendously horrible and disgusting. It's surprisingly good.
Well, butter really is just solidified cream.
True, very true.
So it would make sense why in something like coffee, a little bit will go a long way. You just have to use the actual complete natural whole milk butter, not any one of the imitations or knockoffs.
Yeah, and the key to it is you don't just like put a slob of butter in there and then mix it around. You actually have to like put it into a blender and froth it up.
There's your butter.
Okay then. That's just. And what time of year do they do this?
It's once a year. It's up right now. Actually, they have it inside an industrial cooler while it's at the farm show, so people can see it.
Yeah, I would hope so. Because otherwise, I could see that falling apart rather quickly.
Yeah, they actually at the end of it when they melt it down and recycle it, I think it goes into like a bio oil or biodiesel type thing.
I want to see that thing made indoors during the summer and then wheeled out into the heat and just watch it.
That's why I was curious what time of year they actually did that stuff.
Bring plenty of popcorn.
It took 14 days to create that, and it's 1,000 pounds of scrap butter.
Wow. Well, you know what they're probably going to end up using it for? A lot of fucking hollandaise sauce.
And it was all donated by Land O'Lakes Butter.
Yeah, because donated being loosely, they're essentially using it as advertising.
Yeah, marketing ploy.
Yeah.
Tax write-off.
Yeah, that too. Well, yeah, it would be a tax write-off because it would be a overhead cost, operation of doing business. It would go towards that's something that a lot of people don't realize about what is actually taxable for a business. And depending on what state you're in, It's your profit, it's your capital equipment, and it's your matching bit of payroll. That's it.
Random side topic. I'm digging through my bag of random military gear and range stuff and just pulled out an AK-47 mag.
And you got that how?
You have to advise me of my rights before you ask that question.
Oh yeah, to be fair, we are kind of live, so yeah, we'll talk about that off air. And speaking of being live, so Furball, I already asked the other guys, but did you get to watch any of the stream on Planner Walks earlier today?
No, I've been at work all. Today was like my first day back, kind of at the office, and it was pure insanity.
Well, have you finished
after the events of yesterday?
Have you finished your check-in, or did they say, "Fuck it, you're here. We need you. Get your ass over here now"?
Half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Half and half. I almost ended up going on a trip on Monday, but they figured out they have enough people right now, so I'm going to do a little bit more of the checking in and getting ready next week, and then hit the road.
Ah. So, speaking of what happened recently, the reason why I ask is I had quite the interaction with a guy over on Planner Walks, and Planner Walk, he said he wanted people to come in with hot takes. Essentially, he was asking for a polite-ish dumpster fire.
Jeez.
And yeah, I had quite the take that I knew was going to stir some shit, because with the decision that Trump has made recently that resulted in a particular action that may or may not be legal, may or may not have been justified.
I would say it's legal, just not necessarily is it justified yet.
Yeah, so yeah.
Legal in what sense, though, Jay? Legal in...
Have you heard of the War Powers Act?
I have. I don't know the specifics of it.
Well, we'll get...
Right here.
Well, hang on. We'll get to that in a moment, because okay. I want people to hear the hot take that I had that really set people off. When it comes to actions like that have taken place, as well as a lot of what has taken place over the last decade, my hot take that I went in there with is, pardon my French, fuck the pussyfooting. You're not doing this middle ground bullshit again. If you want to flex your military muscle, all or nothing, bitches. Either declare outright war and get the fuck to it, or shut the hell up. None of this in between bullshit anymore.
I can see that position. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, because there's so many aspects of making that specific hardline decision.
Oh,
it is a good place to stir the pot and get people riled up.
Oh, we'll get into my rationale behind it in a moment. But Jay, go ahead and read that particular excerpt of the War Powers Act.
Okay, the War Powers Act is a combined resolution of Senate Bill 440 in the 93rd Congress and House Resolution 454 of the same Congress. I'm gonna read, and actually, I will share my whole screen with everybody, and I'm reading it from the House side of the bill. But it basically boils down to that Congress has now said that the president can act upon foreign hostilities as he sees fit for at least 30 days per this section right here, which states that hostilities commenced pursuant to this act shall not be sustained beyond 30 days from the date that they are initiated, except as provided in specific legislation enacted for the purposes by the Congress. Provides that hostilities commenced pursuant to this act may be terminated prior to the 30-day period by statute or joint resolution, except where the President certifies that the continued use of the armed forces is necessary for the safety and prompt disengagement of United States forces.
Do you mind zooming in on that a little bit, make it a little easier for the audience?
So basically, that Congress has the Constitution says that Congress has the sole discretion to declare war on any nation, on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They are given by enacting this act, they have given up the first 30 days of their ability to declare war and allow the president to engage the military forces at his discretion. However, after that 30-day period is up, Congress has to either yay or nay it. And they can, if they feel that it is not justified, stop any further military action before that 30-day period is up as well. So it's not just he has a blanket 30 days, but generally speaking, they give him at least a month to figure out what it is that they're doing.
Well, now, here's a good question from the live chat from Don Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
Could the act be construed as an assassination?
Semantics.
Yeah, that's where I would agree that it is a definite gray area in that aspect. However, so, the reason why I actually am of that mindset of pretty much hurry the fuck up and actually shit or get off the pot kind of mentality on it, because when it comes down to it, if blatant military action to the extent of an outright declared war were to take place, it would end up being a true, legitimate, full-on World War, even more active than World War II was. I recognize that. And I actually am leveraging that result, that eventuality of if action were taking place to that extent, to be the deterrent to get them to actually cut the shenanigans and go with the no action route. That's my rationale, is instead of giving them a middle ground where they can make decisions and have seeming culpability of no risk, so why not push these buttons and make these other people dance and do the shit while we're here just going, nope, I didn't do it directly. It wasn't our munitions. It wasn't our forces. You can't blame us, kind of thing. Get rid of that entire fucking game plan out of their playbook to where it's either you do shit yourself or you do nothing.
Now, here's the other thing, is almost every single action that a president has taken since 2001 has been under the same declaration of the War Powers Act and subsequent renewal of it by Congress. So this is where the issue comes in, that most people who are not liberal but have an issue with the actions of the presidents, specifically the last two presidents militarily, is that they need to renege on the former War Powers Act and have the president declare a new issue. All they're doing is saying, oh, this is just a continuation of the war on terror. Okay, keep going.
I would say that personally, I do not view this as a continuation of the previous war on terror. This would be a new utilization of the War Powers Act that
I would. However, I'm waiting to see what comes out, because the documents to prove this have to be public, even though the reasoning doesn't. They have to show under what authority he did this as. If it comes out as a new War Powers Act, then it's great.
Then
if not, it'll be under the...
Yeah, then he has 30 days for Congress to agree or do whatever. But yeah, I don't think you could try and argue. Bush argued that Iraq was an extension of Afghanistan. I don't know if you could go that far with Iran, though.
No,
Iran, you wouldn't.
Yeah, there's too much of a disconnect there, and too much of other shenanigans going on by Iran that...
Shenanigans?
Oh, that's what I would call it. I mean, they didn't necessarily break any laws. They just acted in poor form when it comes to ships transiting the Straits of Hormuz. And that they haven't outright attacked any shipping That they really want to declare that they did?
Now, for a quick second, to more specifically address that question, could this be construed as an assassination? It could be construed that way, but I think if it is argued properly, it is not, because it is an assault upon a foreign hostile nation, not necessarily person. Whereas if we went and assassinated somebody in their borders that was not an active combatant, this guy was an active combatant. So I think that's where I would say it's not necessarily an assassination, even though technically it kind of by definition it is. But so is every time a sniper pulls a trigger.
Well, so
But you are shooting at an active hostile power, not a political figure.
well, and I was going to ask that specifically, that the target was considered as an active segment of the chain of command of the Iranian military. He wasn't elected to a governmental office. So that's really where the distinction comes in that place. Like, say that they were, like, case in point, had the U.S. done the same thing with Saddam, as opposed to the military invasion that kicked off, God, how many years ago now? That would have been an assassination, because Saddam Hussein was in the position of an elected official at the head of the government. That, no way around that. That is an outright assassination action. But due to the position, that's where it gets into the gray area with that plausible justification for it to not be one.
Yeah, I think if you thought of it like a new country, like, there's a coup in a country, military leadership is in charge of the coup that takes over the country, kills all their leadership, they instill themselves. For a certain period of time, if you just bomb the shit out of that group, the military head of that coup, that is a legitimate military action. After a certain point, if you went after just the head, then there would be a line where that's no longer a legitimate military action. It was an assassination. But it's a question of where do you draw that line?
Like Trump has a line,
He does. It's just between the Mexico border.
and lines of coke.
Hang on. There was a thing from Multi Tom Tom. How about we say no? And
don't ban him. I want to play Whack-A-Troll.
oh no, he's not banned. It's just
And he said, "You are all public servants." No, I'm not.
we once were, but I'm not currently.
And what exactly does that public servant mean to you? Does that mean you get to tell us what to do? Just question.
I got my DD.
That's
I
what
got
he thinks.
214 over 20 years ago. I am not a public servant.
Yeah.
I got mine 15 years ago, so.
Yeah.
See,
I'm the only one that's dumb enough to still be in.
But even then,
yeah, that
Multi-Tom, we're under no obligation to do what you tell us to do.
well, okay. So, Furball, let's put it this way: you're in a gray area on that. Stupid enough to stay in longer than the initial hitch? Yes and no, because you're how far away from retirement?
Oh, I could have retired in August if I wouldn't accepted promotion. I've got a guaranteed retirement. The only way the government can take away my retirement now is through a court martial.
Yeah. See, and with me, I got out just shy of halfway to that point. And here's the thing: had I stayed in, I would be 2 years away from retirement right now.
If I'd stayed in, I could have retired in August as well.
So it's always
no,
funny.
Tom, it's not.
No, yeah, Tom, it just shows how ignorant you are. Thank you for proving it yet again.
Yes, it is a brotherhood for life. Okay, now that one deserves him to get banned,
No. No, he's just
or at least toyed with.
no. It's just a whack on the tongue. Not
I got
even
my DB14. I don't owe a damn thing.
If you'd like to talk about how everybody's the public servants to him, I would like to talk about the 750 young Americans that 2 days ago received a phone call. Get your shit on, get down here, load up the weapons, you're getting on a plane.
Yep.
Those are the servants that he needs to be thinking about.
yeah.
Because there were soldiers on leave, still in
That got
recall
recalled.
distance.
Yeah.
They were still in recall distance. And this is the first time that they have been recalled for an active military engagement. And, there's got to be something special about the feeling of putting on your uniform, knowing you're not going to take it off for another year, and loading up weapons before you get on a plane.
Yeah. Okay. ML2 asks, and this
I was
is
just typing a response.
this is a really interesting and nuanced answer. What is the retirement age / length of service generally in the U.S. military? I assume it's not the civilian age of approximately 65. This is where branches type of service comes into play, because
Yep.
if you are active duty or a full-time reserve support, what's called FTS,
AGR.
FTS AGR, yeah, you're full-time military but technically a reservist, you fall under the same retirement umbrella, which has recently changed. Prior to the change, you do 20 years service, you are eligible for retirement at 50% of the average of the highest 3 years of your base pay.
Yep.
Hold
And
on. Can I cut in for a second?
Yep.
Multi-tom-tom. If the UK military is the best of the best of the best, why did you have to rely on the Soviets and the US to get you out of World War II? I think that's a fair.
it is.
And not just World War II.
World War One, we helped them out too, and the prior.
And also remember this, that the only time the United States has ever been invaded by a hostile force was the Brits. And you'll notice we're not speaking with a British accent right now. But that was a long time ago.
Actually, technically.
Well, all right.
Some would argue that we still speak the traditional British and that they morph their language to
to
be
be
different.
American accents a lot of times are a lot closer to the British accent of like the 1600s than what current Britain is.
Yeah. Well,
so with that retirement question, Jared, it's changed recently, and I don't know the exact specifics of it. It was kind of shitty before. It had been that way for a long time. And like he said, if you do 20 years active duty, after 20 years, you can basically ask to get out. You don't have a contract anymore. You've got to ask to get out. Like right now, if I wanted to get out, I would have to submit paperwork and ask the Army to get out. And at 20 years, you get 50% of what your base pay was. And then every year, I think it goes up like 1.5%. So if you do 40 years, which hardly anybody ever does unless you're a general, at 40 years, you get 100%. But if you did 10 years and got out, you get nothing.
Yep.
If you do 15 years and you get out, you got nothing.
Well, depends on what you got out at 15 for.
Retirement.
For retirement. If you go up to 18 years and got out, you get no retirement.
Maybe. There's been cases there. There's been people who've been early retired who've gotten early retirement at 18 for certain reasons, but generally.
We're going
out, and you don't have like a specialized reason to get out, or you didn't take an incentive because of a reduction in force, then you've got nothing. Now, basically, they're paying into a 401k, and I think that if you do 20, you still get something similar to what I'm going to get. But at least now, if you do 10, it paid into your 401k for an eventual retirement plan.
Yeah, if I was smart when I was in, I would have paid into the
TSP.
The TSP, the thrift savings plan.
I'm an idiot. I haven't put a dime into it.
Well, the results. Here's the thing: the actual results and return on investment of the TSP were not what they were advertising when they really were pushing it back in the early 2000s. So you really haven't. Yeah, you've missed out on some growth, but not as much growth as what they would claim it as. You actually
Yeah.
would have been better investing privately as opposed to through the thrift savings plan.
And I had a friend who's an accountant. He looked it over with me before I opted to sign or not sign, and he's like, "Don't do it." I'm like, "Okay."
I learned something new recently. So for reservists, if you're in the reserves, then you do have to go to I think 60
Two.
to start drawing, or 62. But if you do active duty time as part of that reserve, it pulls back from that age when you can start drawing. But you don't draw that like what I'm going to get, the 50%
No,
or
they
more. You don't get nearly as much.
well, no.
But
Here's the thing with the reserve retirement. Actually, they haven't changed the reserve retirement much since when I was processing out, which was a little 10 years, little over 10 years ago now. The reserve retirement was really weird because you still do your 20, or you still accrue your time, but they have a point system on top of it. For
Yep.
the year to count, you have to do a certain number of points just for it to count. And then, depending on how many points above that threshold you go, you can get an addition into it.
yeah,
But again, the kick
a
is
good year.
yeah. Well, the trick is, and what they get you on is, they'll end up paying out more per month for a reservist retirement pay, but active duty, you start collecting on day one after
Yeah.
you leave. Whereas the reservist, you're waiting until 60 to 62 before you can start drawing it.
So here's what I learned recently. I always knew this. Sanctuary is if you're a reservist or if you're active duty and you hit 18 years of active time. So like some reservists will do 35 years in.
Yep.
And that's not the same as doing 35 years active duty. You might have 35 years in the reserves and 10 years active. That bumps up how much you get and how early you can draw it. If you're a reservist and throughout your career you just go on deployments and you volunteer for active time, and if you hit 18 years, the reserves are mandated to give you active duty orders to finish your last two active and get a full retirement. So I've known that. So like me, when I hit 18 years, court-martial, that's the only way you're going to get me out. You're going to let me get to 20.
Yeah.
If a reservist hits 18 years of active duty, they suddenly have orders to finish out their active duty time. But there is a section in the Reserve Human Resources Command that tracks every reservist points and starts flagging them when they get to 18 good years, and they intentionally prevent them from getting any more active duty orders so they don't get an active duty retirement.
Oh, that is shady as shit.
It is.
See, and there's a thing, people, we can recognize when the government does hinky stuff, and we can call it for what it is. That's fucked up.
Yeah. I've been told that if somebody was like they're at that like 17 year and 10-month active time, like, hey, I want to do another year active duty. They will still let you do it as long as you sign a waiver that it doesn't count as a good year.
Oh,
that's
oh, yeah. Oh, wow, yeah.
So you've got to slip under the radar to hit that 18 years, or a good war comes around.
Yeah, fair point. That's just one of those. See, and that goes actually to why I'm still doing the push for the nonprofit that I've kicked up, because the VA is not. So, and here's another thing. So, the retirement pay comes straight from DFAS. It does not touch the VA coffers. However, the disability comp and pension, that comes straight from the VA. That is part of the Veterans Affairs funding. So the more people that are on that at a higher rate, the less the VA actually has to spend elsewhere. Or shall we say, mismanage elsewhere. And that's where part of the issue of why there are other aid programs and other aid organizations that are not directly affiliated with the U.S. government is simply because of that. Because the VA is limited in what they can and can't do, not just from a funding standpoint, but also from an organizational standpoint of what they actually do offer. So that's where the private sector has started to step up and offer what they can to try to fill the gaps.
Hey, Verbal, I have a response for you.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: when he comes out of the corner after
His
getting
time
the
is up.
soap, after getting the soap out of his mouth, I'd be willing to have him on to have the chat so he can actually learn what the military can, can't do, does, doesn't do, and what repercussions are there. Because like that whole issue with the SEAL team chief, there was an actual expose where there was a documentary on it over the last few weeks that it aired on the TV here in the U.S., where they actually had the interviews of the whistleblowers that were under his command sparked it all.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go look that up on demand.
Yeah, this wasn't. I think a lot of this came out of the actual NCIS investigation. I think some of these are the actual criminal investigation interviews.
Hold on. I thought we weren't having potato internet connections today.
Well, no, he's on his phone.
Oh well. See, there's a specific reason for this. Is because Google Meets is not compatible with the iPhone that I got today. So go fuck yourself.
What did you get? Like an iPhone 2?
An iPhone 7.
Oh, no, that... No.
I have an iPhone 7.
Yeah, I have an iPhone SE, and I've joined Meets through it. You need to put in the app.
I have put in the app. The app says that it is not available on this phone. So if you didn't priorly download it to this date, guess what? You're ass fucked. And I don't feel like using the hotspot to fucking connect to your goddamn your Meets. Sorry, Jared. A potato connection is a potato connection.
Oh, you know what?
Fucking deal with it.
Is it that you've got to be on Wi-Fi to download it because it's too big?
Yeah, partially. But it also says that it's not. But it also, when I connected to a Wi-Fi that was higher speed than what I have at the house, it said that the Meets was not applicable to this phone. So
I have an iPhone 7. I'm talking on it right now.
But you downloaded it prior to a update date.
Well,
therefore, it is compatible with. Okay, but if it didn't have it prior to that, which, okay, this iPhone was a gift from my great aunt. I'm not going to stare a gift horse in the mouth.
Well, no, I'm just wondering if it's an issue on Google's end or on Apple's end. I'm leaning towards Google because
Google hasn't updated their app for Google Meet to meet iPhone 7 standards if it wasn't downloaded prior to a previous date. That's what the ATT rep told me today.
Yeah.
Because I've been trying all day to get into this shit.
No, if it was today, here's the thing. I think more the issue is on Google's end, not because of the date. I think it's because they've temporarily locked out access to it for a short period, because apparently Hangouts calls are going bye-bye and Meets is becoming public and free.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, that'll
Yeah.
be nice.
Isn't that like an exact reversal of the previous plan?
Kinda. Google has been changing their actual deployment plans on that stuff so many times. I don't believe them when they say what's going to happen until it actually does.
All right, but more importantly, two things, Jared. Number one, did you read my message about what you need to do today, or what you need to do tomorrow?
Oh, you mean what I've already threatened with, and what I already have the paperwork ready to go if they don't meet the deadline on Monday?
No, you don't. You don't threaten. You put that shit in immediately. You do not threaten. You do not show your hand. You fucking go with it. Number one. Okay. Number two is more direct line because of what is occurring in the Persian Gulf right now. What do you think the weekend's chances of being attacked are?
Don't say that.
I'm trying to avoid it. I'm trying to avoid it, Furball. But
the reason
honestly,
I'm saying that,
that's a discussion that we need to have.
the reason I'm saying that is because the individual that we just turned into vapors, I'm currently working on the security for the American equivalent.
Okay, all right. Well,
This is one of the few times that a White House decision is impacting my life directly.
I apologize, Furball. Okay. God knows we care about you, regardless of your political leanings. We care. Okay. Because I saw the photograph of you and Stephen Colbert together, and I do not think that guy is very funny at all.
That was like 7-8 years ago.
Well, he needed comedy lessons 20 years ago. Okay. He depends upon political comedy to make his viewpoints known. And trust me, I hate political comedy as much as I hate somebody standing out on the street holding a Trump 2020 sign. Okay, I think where we've gotten to politically in America has become a very disgruntled sect. Hang on a second, I got to answer this call.
Yeah. Well, while he's not here to listen, my thought on the likelihood of a carrier task group being attacked in a significant sort of way, I don't see it happening as a result of this, because if Iran actually was going to, they would have already.
Hey, Jared, if you're not already, you need to be sharing text screen, by the way.
Let's see what... Oh, that is so very true.
Okay, y'all there?
Maybe.
Thank you for calling Domino's. What can I get for you?
All right, y'all hear me? Y'all hear me now? Okay, because I'm not exactly sure how all this goes.
Okay, T-Mobile guy.
No, it's not T-Mobile. It's AT&T. But go fuck yourself.
The T-Mobile guy was the "Can you hear me now?" and you literally just said, "Can you hear me now?"
Well, he's working for.
Now
he's working for Sprint now. But now he's working for Sprint.
No, he was Verizon first. He was Verizon first.
Next I hear he'll be on T-Mobile.
Oh, that's what. Sorry, yeah, Verizon. Sorry, I got the wrong carrier.
Oh, what do you guys think about this thing?
Oh shit! You're gonna make me log out of World of Warcraft on my computer just to stare at fucking meats, aren't you?
He's showing a
large diaphragm condenser microphone.
Yeah.
This is the shock mount that comes with it.
That looks like a bumblebee.
It comes with a little bumblebee
As
top that
long
you
as
can put on your desk.
okay, if it looks like a bumblebee, it better have an air freshener hanging off of it that says "biatch" on it.
So I'm in our office right now with random stuff. There's like our box haven.
That's a cool
So
XR cable.
I'm digging through some old
Yeah.
paperwork, and I just found a DD214.
Oh, is it from when you went to the ROTC program for the degree, or?
No, this was when I finished basic training, and because I initially joined the Guard.
Ah.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is like a 3-month DD214 as Private Furman.
Furman playing with his privates. But anyways, to answer your questions you wished, I would not be any more worried than normal. Because, let's be honest, if Iran wanted to try to attack the carrier directly, they would have already.
It's got a fucking screen from hell on it already. I already seen it.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with a tit for tat. That's what I'm currently concerned about.
Well, understand this, Furman. Okay, I have 2 friends deployed on the Abraham Lincoln right now. Okay, so I know where they're at. Right. So if the carrier group were to be attacked because additional resources have been deployed to the Lincoln now, okay, they're going to have to deal with a fucking shitload of anti-ship missiles and a fucking boatload of 50 caliber machine guns they don't want to fuck with.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. Aside from the carrier group, they would actually have to get through the picket screen first.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is that the picket screen has been reinforced. It's no longer a traditional deployment. There are additional resources that have been deployed to the Persian Gulf already on station.
Well, yeah,
they have been anticipating this for 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, they've
known this is coming for at least 3 weeks.
Yeah, they went from a standard deployment posture, which is primarily training with the short period of active operations, to a full operation contingent. So they went.
I wish we would have known 3 weeks ago, because we were jumping out our ass today to find more people.
Well, it's the Army. We don't expect you guys to deal with that shit anyways.
Again, the only thing I care about is the tit for tat, because I'm on the other end of the tat.
Oh, you want to be on the tit?
You know what I have to say to that, BM? Is sucks to be you. I love you, brother. Don't get me wrong. I love you, but it sucks to be you. That's why I'm glad I have the title civilian in my name.
Well, luckily Iran doesn't have that much force projection, so you should be okay.
Yeah, there's
their biggest,
Arlington.
Their biggest threat. Their biggest threat is to our naval power already on station in the Persian Gulf. Let's face it.
Yeah, and even then, I would be more worried if China were to get involved directly.
Do you guys ever watch the TV show 24?
Used to.
The wife and I used to watch that like crazy. And the first time I was here doing security, I was working for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. And one of my first weekends was he was off and we followed him to the mall. And I'm sitting in the chase vehicle by myself in a parking garage, thinking to myself, if life were like 24, this is when somebody would sneak up behind me and shoot me.
No. What you're thinking?
That is quite the thought to have.
No, let me clarify this. What BM Furball was actually thinking was, if this is 24, I wonder if I could get away with whipping my dick out and jerking it for a while.
No, he said 24, not Super Troopers.
Yeah, life is much more like Super Troopers, though. Trust me.
I'm sorry, Furball. I had to go there.
I'm flipping through old paperwork and finding some weird things.
You know, you'd
Counseling
be
statement.
better
What's
off
that for?
flipping through. You would be better off flipping through your old porn stash than flipping through old papers.
That's in a hard drive somewhere in the basement.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You didn't leave the VHS for the movers to find?
You know you're old when your porn's got on reel to reel.
Yeah, really. Hey, a lot of my porn is reel to reel. Shut the fuck up.
Wait. So
On
what?
Super 8.
Hang on. So what does it say when your porn is operated by a hand crank on the side and you have to look through a viewport and pay a penny?
Oh, what do they call that? A stereoscope?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoetropes.
Zototropes, that's it. You gotta have that penny porn.
Yeah, you know, it's what you're it's more like what's it say about you when your porn stash is black and white with no sound? Yeah.
What the? Wait. Okay, the audience can see it. For those of you in the meet, take a look at the image that Techatron is showing.
I can't.
Hang on. You wished you will understand the reference that I make with this question. Who the fuck let Anthony Riley design a retractable hitch for the Land Rover?
The fuck?
At least
Well, they are a British company.
You know what? I'm gonna log out of World of Warcraft right now because I gotta see this shit.
I'll leave it on screen until you see it because
at least it's not dripping oil
yet.
He hasn't been at it long.
The problem is that with Anthony Riley designing this. Okay. Oh, by the way, who won Dumb Fuck of the Year? Because I've been out of the fucking loop.
It hasn't been announced yet.
Jared, he's even cupping the balls.
I know.
Wait a second. Because as far as I know, there was not a second annual International Ballers Day this year or last.
I don't know.
Depending upon when you look. You know, I mean, Red's Rhetoric really dropped the ball on that.
He was getting his dick wet.
You know what? I can get my dick wet and still remember International Ballers Day. In fact, I got my dick wet on New Year's Eve.
So let me give you a choice. Host a stream, get your dick wet.
I think I could do both at the same time. But you know,
and you're not doing one of them right.
No. If you can do both of those,
19 years.
Hang on. If you can do both of those, you're either one, on the wrong platform for the majority of our audience, or you're not doing either of them right.
No, it's all about
I don't know. At my age, my wife would probably tell you that I was doing both of them right, while doing both of them at the same time. But I'm special that way.
I just want to let you know that all women say that, and they're all lying.
Oh shit! Let me join this fucking meet.
Just
hell.
pull up the watch page for a moment, take a look at the image on screen, and then you will understand the reference. Make it easy on yourself, you old bastard.
Well,
normally I'm okay with drawing out a hand job this long, but it's getting a little tedious.
Hey, look, I'm already 2 sheets to the wind right now. I'm working on my third and probably my fourth. I'm not going to make movie night tonight. I've already denigrated myself to that. So, yeah.
Again, trying to make it easier for you, you old bastard.
Well, you know
That's
what?
what he said.
I've got to make shit difficult for myself, so go screw yourself. You young fuck. Ugh.
I take both of those as a compliment because, yes, I still fuck like I'm young.
No, you know what? I fuck like I'm a fucking plumber. I fuck like I'm Red. I fuck like I'm Red Rhetoric. Reds, if you ever listen to this, I'm sorry, but I had to steal your shit.
Have you looked yet? Damn it!
You know what? I just got my fingers on the fucking keyboard. God damn, I'm working it like a fucking clitoris. Hang on.
Oh, so you haven't
even know where
found
to
it yet?
find that?
He doesn't know how. That's why it's taking so long.
He hasn't found it, huh?
Maybe he needs to read the manual first.
Oh.
See, this is the reason why you shits keep me around, is not for my seriousness or my insight into things. It's for my comedic relief. That's the only. Jerry, you better admit that shit's true, because y'all only keep me around for my fucking comedic relief.
Okay. So, Anamorphic Mind is asked, where's the other hand? So you have this hand here, and the other one is right here.
Cupping the balls.
You gotta cup the base as you're pulling it.
But if you notice, you also notice that it's step 11. What do you do for the first 10 steps?
The first 10 steps are trying to find the clit.
Oh,
This. Is this device here Jewish or not? That's the question.
Based on the imagery, I would assume that it is.
You'd have to see it. You'd have to see the earlier steps to be able to tell.
That's true. It might be hiding the rest. It's hiding the turtleneck.
What the fuck was that?
You guys are infuriating the fuck out of me.
Demonetized.
No, I've already blown Jared's monetization for this video. I've already cussed too much.
No.
You blew Jared. What?
No. Monetization was already in question once we started talking politics.
Right. This is all I'm hearing from Newish at this point.
Interesting.
You know, Jay Brown. You know what you can do, okay?
Blah, blah, blah,
And if
blah,
you
blah.
don't,
It can do step 11. It can do step 11.
oh, where's Bo when we need him most? Where's Bo at? In this conversation?
He got recalled. So
I need a fucking another ham radio operator with me in this. I need another amateur radio operator with me in this.
all
Where
right.
the rest of my hams at?
All right. Have you looked at the shiny knob yet or not?
No, I haven't. Jared, I haven't seen my radio in 3 days. Okay, thank you. And yes, my FT 101 EE does have a shiny knob. I've polished it so that it looks nice and new and bright and shiny and all that good shit.
He polishes his knob often.
Yes, I polished that knob. I polished that knob religiously. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I have a serious question though. Is that curvature natural, or does he need to take it to a mechanic and have it checked out?
No, that curvature.
They give it the blue pill,
is
man.
Natural. That curvature is very natural. Okay, thank you, Anthony Riley. That curvature is natural. That curvature is just like the horizon. It drops below eye level as you rise.
That one's more rising to eye level.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing
And
is
shaking.
that the horizon does not rise to eye level as you rise in altitude. Thank you very much.
No, but apparently that ball hitch is.
You know
And
what?
Anamorphic Mind's got the right answer. After 4 hours, you have to call the mechanic.
You know what? I no longer own a pickup truck, so I no longer have a ball hitch and no longer have to worry about one.
Oh my God!
Thank
Are
you.
you looking at the screen from the YouTube watch page yet?
Fuck no, I'm not watching that.
Then you're missing half of the fucking joke.
You know what? I'm missing half a fucking joke. Thank you very much.
At this point, you're missing so much of it, you might as well be the joke.
Well,
I'm
you know
gonna,
what?
I'm gonna
I can be-
screenshot this
I
and
can
post
be
it on
the
his
joke.
Facebook page.
You know what? I can be the joke. I can laugh about myself. I don't take myself seriously, because if I had taken myself seriously 20 years ago, there would have been cut marks down my arm. Okay? That's the gospel truth of it.
Oh, don't
I've
get
been
serious on
there.
us now.
ML2 posted it in Discord for you there, you wished.
Well, you know what? I can't get into Discord on my freaking laptop right now. My fucking shit's screwing up. I'm trying to wait for the reset. Thank you, HughesNet, for being such a bitch.
What? How is Logical the troglodyte and not you wish?
Because Logical Troglodyte actually has logic. You wished only has fucking humor. Thank you.
And apparently no more ball that needs to be polished.
You know what? If you think I've got balls that need to be polished, you're in deep, deep rejection of factuality and reality.
Speaking of logical, he's got beer being chilled, chips and dip ready. Houston, we are go for Psy Strike Force.
Oh, hell yeah. Thank you.
He's a few hours early.
When does that start? I
Psy
really
Strickland
need to...
posted the watch link into the Discord.
Hey,
So.
I've still got half of a freaking 750 milliliter bottle to go through. So yeah, I'm good.
And then JC also put, because I commented that I have the vodka in the fridge. That's the bright side. That is a slight bright side to my mother-in-law passing away, is that I can now have alcohol in the house and not have to worry about it getting dumped down the drain. She's like, haha, love you guys. We have some special stupid for you tonight. And I'm like, okay, you're scaring me now. 'Cause if it's special stupid, it's scary.
I haven't even been able to watch since I got back from Korea. I need to jump in.
Yeah. Well,
isn't it past your bedtime? Doesn't your wife have you on a leash?
You can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I don't need to do that. I have a wife for that. You met her. And yes, I do admit that I did marry above my level.
Oh, you're not the only one.
You know what? We all, hang on a second. Let me say something about our wives. We all lucked out and married above our level.
Some more than
real
others.
Truth,
Hey,
the real
Furball.
question is, what dirt did you have on them to make them do it?
Hey, Furball, would you agree that I married above my level?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
okay. Well, let me tell you something about my wife. I've still got the sheet hanging on the board at home, proving I banged her first.
TMI.
No,
Yeah.
you know what? You want me to bring her in and tell her and have her tell you the truth that I was the first in those panties?
No, I'm okay with that.
No, definitely don't need to hear that.
Was that like you bought them, you put them on, then you gave them to her?
No. That was I got the hymen, you motherfuck.
Yeah. About that.
You want her classmates' information?
I
Because they can
don't
verify.
know. I think you have a problem with the word no.
You need to watch the T video. All right, what's the next topic? Let's move on from dirty sheets and panties.
Here, I'm making character animation. This is Riley after he finds out that he's got second place again in Dumb Fuck of the Year.
Wait, you're missing something in the background.
I haven't gotten there yet.
I am still an advocate. I'm still an advocate that should not be voting for first place, and all that. It's first, third, fourth, fifth. He's just perpetual second.
But see, here's the thing: is that this year he's made such a fucking case for first. He's made the denial of gravity. He's made the twisted reality of gravity. I mean, what else do we need for dumb fuck of the year?
I haven't even put effort in trying to make him first this year, like previous years.
Yeah,
So.
Oh my god! My god!
Okay, so you wished. Hang on. You wished. Have you met Kyle Curtis?
Oh.
You know, Jared.
Oh no!
Jared.
No! Jared, hang on. I've been on freaking non sequitur when Kyle ignored, fucked over, and screwed. What's his name? God damn it! I'm drawing a blank and I'm too drunk to think.
I love Dick.
Steve.
When he fucked.
Did you just phone a friend? This do you want to be a millionaire? You know that, right?
Okay. Look, I'm so drunk I couldn't phone a friend if I tried. Okay?
Even though you literally did just phone a friend, us.
Oh, no, so we made it easy. All he had to do was click a link on his phone.
You know what? I can't see a link on my phone. I dialed directly into this shit. So, but, okay. All right. I've been on non sequitur when Steve was not there. Okay, when Steve was not there.
You frequently
Tom
come on
Curtis-
V-Trans talk too.
Well, I'm only on this shit show besides fucking non sequitur. And trust me, if Steve would have me on non sequitur, that would be great.
But Steve's too busy right now with modern day dibbits.
And you know what? God bless Steve for that.
I'm sorry.
Because not
I'm sorry.
because modern day debates deserves a bigger audience than what it has.
I might be crying a little bit. On Monday, make sure you come back and watch this again.
Oh, trust me, I'll probably watch this tomorrow.
Maybe you
Just
watch
make sure you're sober while you watch it so you can remember it.
Or if you watch his Roman cake.
No. Oh, hell no. I don't. See, here's the thing, Jay Brown. I don't watch myself sober. If I did, I'd take myself too seriously and be strung up in the backyard about lasso. Okay?
Did somebody just say cake? I just remembered that I have a Death Star cake in the fridge.
Oh, okay, so
God damn.
hang on. You wished.
Is it red velvet?
It is.
You wished. You know we don't kink shame here.
We don't what?
We don't kink shame here. So
Oh, please.
what you do with the lasso in
Oh,
your backyard? More power to
please.
you.
No, because if I were strung up by a lasso in my backyard, trust me, I wouldn't be breathing. Like I said, if I took myself
He's a
too
mountain
fucking
man.
seriously-
He doesn't spend time in his backyard. He's a mountain man. He breaks his back up there a lot of times, though.
If I took myself too seriously, and this is the reason why I'm part of this panel, if I took myself too seriously, I would have already been dead a long time ago by my own hand. Okay? That's part of the reason why I'm part of this panel is because I know there are veterans out there that take themselves way too seriously that do contemplate the shit that I've already contemplated. There's a reason why I try to make everybody laugh at me so that they can laugh at themselves and realize, hey, look, if this guy's got all these issues, it's not so bad. Truth or not, Jared? Truth or not?
Oh no, I don't disagree with that. It's just I can't wait for you. I can't wait for you to go back and listen and find out just how much you end up laughing at moments like that.
You know
I'm so
what?
glad I joined tonight.
I laugh at everything. Okay, when I go back and rewatch these shows with my wife, we both end up laughing. That's the thing, is that as long as I bring some comedy to somebody else, I'm happy.
Is that
That's what I want. No, my wife keeps me around because of my 9-inch dick. Thank you.
See, like I said, she keeps you around for the laughs.
No.
Oh, it tickles.
BM, you're a fucking asshole. You know what? Go find a fucking dildo that suits you.
Oh, I love you, man.
Trust me. You know what? No homo, but the feeling is mutual, because you know what? You've made me laugh, and you've been a good friend to me, and that means a lot to me. Okay? That means a serious fuck ton to me. Because God knows I tried to get you involved in that overdose in Dallas that year, or back in June.
Just remember
God
that I'm one of the few assholes on this panel that didn't have a bet down on how many more heart attacks you would have this year.
You know that's
You did
the other
too.
thing.
Don't let him lie to you.
That's the other thing. Okay. Well, that's the other thing, is that I missed the last panel. Was it the panel or the panel before last? I think it was the last panel.
One of the last couple.
Wasn't it, Jared? Because I ended up back in the hospital the day before. Thankfully, it wasn't a heart attack. Thankfully, it was acid reflux due to a hiatal hernia of some sort. My medication was not doing me right and causing me extreme chest pains, because acid reflux is a bitch.
Kind of almost like it made you think you had your third one, huh?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You almost were happy, Jared.
Oh, no, see, because that would only get you one step closer. There would still be a couple more after that, if that was the case.
You know what? But that was to the end of the year. You would have had three, not five.
No, within a year.
You would have had three, but not five.
The bet.
You would have had three, not five.
The bet has been within a year, not by the end of the year.
Oh, okay. All right, okay. So Piggy still actually has a chance to win outside of this?
Apparently.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. He's he's probably orgasming quickly.
Jared, what the hell did this poor bastard do to his laptop?
What the
Too much porn.
No, he removed the old screen.
Okay.
And it looked like he's trying to replace it with
A screen of the wrong size.
Well, the plug works, but
It won't fit in the shell.
Oh, no. He's taking the components from the laptop.
Oh, he's
making
built
a computer.
He's literally rebuilding it so it works.
Oh, wait a second. You mean he's rebuilding his own laptop to try to be something better than what he had?
Clearly, he's not an Apple owner.
Well, the guy on the screen is, not Pig.
Wow.
Stupid ads.
It's just Squarespace. But I have not spoken directly with Pig in a while. But apparently, he enjoyed my Christmas present.
And what was that?
The video I released on Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, by
Did
the
he
way,
make a comment on it?
I did enjoy and appreciate that, even though I didn't comment on it.
Sometimes no comment is needed because, like I said,
You know
the
what?
video speaks for itself.
And in that case, Jared, you were genius in that because it didn't require a comment.
And somehow Piggy ended up back in the community, an active member of what's going on right now. At least according to certain people.
How the fuck and where the fuck is he? Because number one, I hadn't seen him here, and number two, I hadn't received a Facebook or a Twitter message from him, and he bitched me out for having him blocked on Facebook and Twitter. So I unblocked him. So Piggy, if you're listening, you know what? If you're an active member of the community, or you want to be an active member of the community, you better message me because I'll tell you how to straighten your shit out.
Better if he keeps working on himself the way he has been, from what I've been told from others.
Now,
You know,
if only
by the
he
way-
would stop. Now, if
And-
only he would
and I
stop
hope-
using all those sock accounts to harass Uni.
No shit.
And for
I'd
you
like to
wished,
see the evidence of that.
for you wished, the Fody Awards ceremony will take place Wednesday, January 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern.
He picks weird times and dates.
It's based on
Well-
his work schedule, typically.
I love this
For
gift.
the record, for the second annual Ballers Day, International Ballers Day, I did wear NASA gear for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and I wore two
I have a
different
hoodie I
shirts.
wear every day.
Okay, so to you globe deniers out there, go fuck yourselves. It's a ball. Get over it. Enjoy.
Well, because Jared timed out Multi-Tom Tom. He hasn't been
He
back,
ran
or at least
away.
not active in the chat.
I think he
You
ran
know
away.
what?
He's scared.
Multi-Tom Tom could lick my balls and I wouldn't give a fuck.
I wonder if he can cuff the balls on a Land
I
Rover.
have much higher standards than that. So
Yeah.
He could lick my asshole, but that would be sounding too fucking gay, even for my wife.
Well, keep in mind, Tom Tom does claim to be a Muslim, but I have
you
my
know what?
doubts.
See it?
You know what, Jared? Need I say more? Bahrain. Need I say more?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
wait,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jared. I'm sorry.
Why?
Jared, did you not get the security brief on Bahrain?
We turned around in the Indian Ocean. We
Oh, you
weren't
bitches.
dumb enough to go further.
Okay.
I mean, you were smart to stay away.
What was that game y'all played in the Philippines?
Dick or no dick?
No, it's Katoy or not Katoy.
Okay. All right. Well, let's face it. There were taxi drivers that played Katoy or not Katoy in Bahrain. And they didn't care if you were Katoy or not Katoy. Thank you.
Oh no, there is some shit that has gone. Okay. So we know there has been someone who has been around that was deployed to Afghanistan, and let's just say that he was relocated to a different a different operation post, because he found out why there was a typical 2 to 3 hour break midday that the Afghan nationals were taking, and it was not for lunch. Oh no. Take the Katoy, not Katoy, remove the makeup, and drop the age by about 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of,
I can understand that.
Speaking of the Southeast Asia area in the Philippines, did anybody else hear about the dismissal of the lawsuit against Elon Musk today?
No.
Or the other day?
No.
I didn't even know about a pending lawsuit with him.
Yeah, you remember he started a tweet by responding to a particular guy, calling him a pedo
Okay.
back in 2018.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, the guy tried to sue him, for slander and all that fun stuff.
It's like, okay,
But-
prove it's not true.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
apparently in their suit against Elon Musk, they provided various information about the reporters from BuzzFeed getting certain emails from Elon Musk about his reason for calling him such things, and I don't think that helped his case that much. If you go to Viva Frei, whatever he calls himself.
Hey, Jay Brown, send me a link. Send me a link to that through Discord. I'm actually in Discord now on my laptop. I can actually see Discord.
Oh, so now you can take a look at the image that ML shared with you that we were joking about for a half fucking hour.
You know what? I finally fucking got in. Thank you very much for the fucking potato internet. It's not my fucking fault. It's the potato shit internet that I have.
Well, submit your expense reports in a more timely manner, and then you can upgrade.
You know what? I need funding for those expense reports to upgrade. I don't have such things. I don't have a Patreon. I don't have a fucking PayPal. Yeah. How the hell am I supposed to make those?
This is the guy that was brought the lawsuit against defamation. Now, one of these two lawyers is the lawyer that's representing Nicholas Sandman in his lawsuit against WAPO and all of them. So that's pretty interesting.
Slander and defamation lawsuits themselves aren't easy to begin with, because it's not that you need to prove that what the person's saying is wrong. You need to prove that they knew what they were saying was wrong.
And
here's the thing
and not just that is you have to show that they knew that it was the wrong information.
Yeah.
And you then have to also show damages on top of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll just be a slap on the wrist. You were naughty. Don't do it again.
Well, here's the thing: is the WAPO issue is that federally, I think they're not being able to be sued. But they're being sued in the state of Kentucky. Still.
Because if you take it to state court, you lose the right to take it to federal court. He took it to state courts.
Well, no, he filed federally first, and the federal judge is like, no, but there's still issues here that need to be resolved at the state level. Here you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, the federal courts can reject it. The state courts can still pick it up. Yep. But if you sue initially at the federal level and the federal courts pick it up and then reject your claim, you can't sue at the state level. If they send it down to the state level, then it's a different story. They send it down to the state level, apparently.
Yeah, what's really funny is this guy's a Canadian lawyer. He used to do litigation. Now he turned YouTuber.
What? Wait.
Viva Frei.
He's a Canadian
the YouTuber,
lawyer.
the YouTube guy that talks about these cases.
Oh, is he Leor Lester?
No. Leor lives in Miami and works in the U.S.
Yeah, I was about to say, if that's Leor, then we've got shit fucking problems, because I actually like Leor.
Leor, I haven't seen much of anything from him because he's busy dealing with the with his suit to go against YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time he posted a video on his channel?
Which my previous channel is part of, because
6 months ago.
Wow.
Oh no. This case that Leor is involved in goes back 28 months.
No, I know what case he's working on. I'm saying the last time he posted a video.
Yeah.
Hey, that's almost as long as it's been since Uni did anything on his old main channel that has almost 40,000 followers.
Oh, you mean the channel that he likes to brag about yet doesn't seem to care about?
Do a thing on?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Last video on his was 11 months ago.
Yeah.
A picture gets too real too fast. A mystery.
Yep, getting close to that 1 year mark there, bub.
Hadn't Uni turned into more of a tabloid channel?
Oh, no. He's always been a tabloid channel. He just needs to own it. Just admit it. If he
No,
just,
he'll
if he
never
just,
admit
no,
it. He'll
see
never.
that's the
He
thing.
will
If
never.
he just
He will
admitted
never
it,
admit it.
if he just
No,
would,
Unirock.
I'm not saying he's
Uni-
going to. I'm saying if he did, the view a lot of people would have of him would change.
No, and let me tell you the reason why is because too many of his followers are tabloid fans. That's how he gets away with it.
You didn't listen.
That is how he
You
gets away
wished.
with her.
You wished. You are pulling what fucking Nuntkin did to me on Planner Walks. You didn't listen to what I said. And I'm willing to blame the alcohol on that one with you.
Okay, all right. Then explain it to me.
If Uni actually owned up and actually owned what his channel actually is of being a tabloid commentary and response type channel, if he actually admitted it, owned it, and ran with it, the average person who thinks he's just a fucking dirtbag at this point would then treat him accordingly and not be so negative in the opinion of him.
Okay, can I respond
But he
to
has
that?
sources for his information.
Bullshit.
Can I respond to that?
Now that you've listened.
I'm eating Death Star.
Okay. The majority of his followers.
I didn't say the majority of his followers. I said the majority of people.
Okay, the majority of people, okay, that are his followers.
Again, I was not. His followers aren't going to fucking change. I get that. His followers aren't going to fucking change because they're the ones feeding him bullshit just to make him react, just to make the fucking monkey dance. It's not his followers that the opinion would change. It's the average Joe Smo who's been looking from the sidelines being, hey, he looks good. Oh, wait a minute. He just done fucked up and stepped in shit. Wait a minute. He's a lying piece of crap on top of it. Oh, wait. Now he's actually being honest about what he is. Maybe I'll watch him for what it is then. Purely entertainment. Nothing of actual value or substance. Those are the people I was referring to, you wished. I give a flying fuck about his followers.
Agreed.
Jared, do you think he has actual sources and people telling him of this stuff, or do you think he's just flat out making it up?
50-50.
No, he's
50-50.
He's pulling this shit 75% out of this ass.
No, you wished. Hang on. You wished. I have a view into his Discord server still to this day. It is 50-50. You have some people going in there, hey, Uni, look at this. Hey, Uni, look's what's being said now. Hey, Uni, here's this. The rest of it, he pulls out of his fucking ass. So it's both.
Okay. But with 75% of the time out of his Discord server, because I'm in it.
He booted me from it.
He hasn't caught on to me yet, and thankfully he never will. Should you never mention my ship?
I was in his server like twice and talked with him. I don't know why he booted me from it.
Your association with Jared?
Because you hit too close to the truth, and you didn't know when to be quiet and listen. And
that's true. I did challenge the shit out of him when he had blatantly false information.
I don't challenge Unirock. I do not. I make it a point that when I'm in the Discord server, that I watch, I learn.
You're a voyeur.
Okay? You know
Jared,
what? You can
don't
call me
kill me for
whatever you
this.
want. I
Hang
masturbate over this shit anyway. I've got a 9-inch cock to stroke. I need strokeability material.
Well, here you go.
Okay. But
Really?
Here you go, Jared.
Are
Talk
you
about stroking the
fucking
ego.
kidding me?
okay, all right. Now wait a second.
Oh, Jesus.
50% of the time, Unirock is pulling shit from his ass. 25% of the time, he's getting fed shit from his fans.
And
then
10%
the
of
other
his time, he's right.
25%.
Not
And
even
you know
that
what?
much.
I'm not. He's getting maybe 5% of it right. He has never had the Steve McRae and Kyle Curtis issue right. Never.
So
Never.
let's get another view on it. Hey, ugly fuck.
Please don't turn on your camera.
That's my cue.
Oh wow, it's red.
Hey, it's Red.
Red. Hey.
My eyes
Yeah,
are
I'll
still
show that
burning,
again.
even though the camera's off.
Well, you know what? I bow to Reds. I bow to Red. I will say, not only am I not worthy, I'm Wayne's version of not worthy.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna go throw up in my mouth now. But anyway, just full disclosure. I am here because of the open door policy that AT2 has. I am not military, nor have I ever pretended to be military. So thank you for inviting me in to where I am not worthy. So there you go.
Hey,
Welcome.
welcome to the safe space.
Well,
Yeah.
Please feel free
I mean, you're as close to
please
being in the
feel free
military
to
as these
voice
Navy
your
guys
opinion.
are.
Oh, fuck you, Bill. Fuck you. You fucking queer. You fucking fucking maggot.
yeah. Don't try to poke the drunk guy too much now.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so now that full disclosure is out there,
But yeah.
All right, so what's on your mind there, bud?
yeah. So since the full disclosure is out there, I am not military. I have never been military. What was your question again, Jared? What's my opinion on what again? I just came in to hang out because I was bored.
Oh, well, I saw you post links, so I thought you were kind of listening. We've been just airing and letting people know clearly where we stand on certain individuals, and for some reason someone decided to mention the gutless wonder that is Unirock.
I just
was
have
not the one guilty of that.
I just have one request of Unirock. Stop telling people that we're bros. We're not. We never were.
Don't deny it, Red. You know it's true.
Red, we love you.
He said that, we have very nice conversations all the time. No, if I'm
That
your
once.
friend, we don't have nice conversations. I tell you to go fuck yourself multiple. Jared, you're a good friend of mine. What have I told you just today?
About 4 or 5 in one phone call alone.
Wait, Red, let me ask you, okay, and this is you wished, okay, and I consider myself a fan, not a friend. How many
A
nice
drunk fan.
conversations, and how many nice conversations have you and I had away from YouTube?
To be fair, I have no idea
zero.
who you are.
Absolutely zero. Okay, all right. Now, I would admit that on a live stream. I would admit that in a recording. I would admit that anywhere. I am a fan of Red's rhetoric. I am
Wait,
not
you
a
wish?
friend of. I am not a friend of Red's rhetoric.
You wish.
I
By
would like to be.
You wish. But by uni rules, now that you have had this conversation, you're BFFs and hang out on the weekends.
You know what? I don't give a fuck about Unirock and his rules. Okay? The reality is, I've met Red's rhetoric through Hangouts. I've never hung out with the guy. He would realize that I'm far uglier than he is. and that he would have to admit such, because he would have to tell the world, "Oh, you wished is the toothless fucking wonder." He can actually talk and not sound like he's missing any of his front fucking teeth, even when he's fucking drunk.
From the live chat from Mark Beiser, why would anyone be a fan or friend of that asshole, Red? You know, sometimes the only person you can get along with when you're an asshole is an even bigger asshole.
Okay, so
Well, you know, wait. There is nobody in the world who's a bigger asshole than I am. Truth be told.
Oh, dude, you really need to go watch Planner Walk stream from earlier today.
You know what? I can give a fuck.
Dude, I had the guy crying.
Let me put it this way.
Okay.
There have been some rumors going around that Unirock is hanging out with a certain crowd now. It's not my job to steer him in the right direction. It's not my job to give him the correct information and make sure that he doesn't make a total ass out of himself. And it's not even my job to verify that the information I've heard is even correct. All I'm going to say is if what I heard about Unirock is true, 2020 is going to be fucking entertaining as all hell.
Wait a second, Red. I gotta ask a question. Okay, please tell me that Kyle Curtis is leading the vote for
no spoilers.
Yeah,
No
spoilers.
We'll find out on the 6th or on the 8th when everybody else does.
Please tell me that Kyle Curtis is the dumb fuck of the year.
No
Just
spoilers.
Right now,
No spoilers.
We'll solve that for you.
Oh, thank you, Jay.
Whatever he's crumpling up in his hands is really getting annoying. That's why I was doing it.
Well, there's that too.
It will be all will be revealed on Wednesday.
I just have to say that last week when I was perusing Facebook and it got to the people you might know, and Kyle Curtis was on it, I almost shit myself. Not today, Satan. Not today.
Yeah, Kyle Curtis is just my God, what an asshole. But it's all right. It's not going to matter anyway. Eventually, the court's just going to say, "Hey, you got 14 days to do this shit, or Big Bubba's going to be your new boyfriend."
Yeah, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when at this point. And
yeah.
I suspect after the holidays, with the amount of time that he's had, the judge is about to do something.
The judge is about to do something. The last I heard, the judge gave him one last chance to basically provide some sort of evidence to his case, since he basically blew off every single summons he ever gotten. And the judge is not too thrilled about that. If I remember correctly, he should be coming back onto the bench on Monday, which would be the 6th. So we should actually have a pretty substantial update on the 6th. But, time will tell.
Yeah. Isn't North Carolina about halfway between you two? And Jared just picked me up on the way. I've got a bat. We can go take care of this ourselves.
I mean, I don't condone violence. I mean, if you want to, I ain't going to stop you. I just ask that you record it.
Oh, well, no, Red, what he's saying is you could be there recording it with the P1000.
Exactly.
Get that shit in 4K.
Yeah.
He's halfway between you two. I just happen to be closer at the moment. Jared will pick me up on the way.
I don't condone violence, but just stream it on YouTube for me, please.
I mean, if you're going to do it and I can't stop you, I mean, might as well make the most of it, I guess.
We all gonna need bail money. I mean, come on, gotta get it somehow.
I'll get that GoFundMe started for you guys.
I'm gonna need bail money, an alibi, and a shot of penicillin.
Don't forget banjos. North Carolina needs those banjos.
Banjos. I don't know. See, Kyle's just, I don't know. I don't know what got into that guy's head. He had a thriving YouTube channel. It was one of the best on the net. And then he decided to royally fuck that shit sideways. And we were like, hey, don't do this, otherwise it could go south for you, and it did. So he literally chose get sued over have a successful YouTube channel. You know what choices people make sometimes.
Well, and
Was it an overt choice from day one, or do you think it was one bad choice that couldn't be rectified and another bad choice to cover it up, and it just snowballed to hell?
I'll tell you exactly what happened. All right. See, Steve McRae is a guy that has, let's say, a personality trait. And that personality trait is that when he tells you that you're wrong, and he is really fucking confident, he will let you know that you are wrong, and he will not back down from that. And some people get their fifis hurt. The people who got their fifis hurt were potential guests that Kyle wanted on. Then a few other people started coming to Kyle saying that their fifis were also hurt by the fact that Steve McRae was right. And so to try and get guests on, to try and make it so that he didn't lose any of his other co-hosts, because some of them were threatening to not show up if Steve McRae was there, he decided to just axe Steve McRae, even though Steve McRae had a 50% ownership in the channel, which was totally not only unethical, but extremely illegal, which is why Kyle's now getting sued over it. Some of the people that got their fifis hurt are shit like, I don't consider you an engineer, or you don't understand philosophy all that well. Now, keep in mind, while saying all this shit, he can be sucking your dick in a different aspect. Like, I love this guy and what he knows about paleontology. I love what he has to say about the social construct of this one thing. But when you're wrong about something, I'm going to let you know. But they saw that as not being diplomatic. And sure, you can possibly make that argument, but the fact remains is that Steve McRae was not wrong. He was in the right, and he was in the right to have those opinions, and he could actually back up his shit, unlike the other people who had their fifis fucking hurt. So instead of dealing with this shit and maybe, updating your argument or your position on things to better coincide with actual fucking facts, they just decided to axe the guy who was giving them the facts in the first place. It's no different than a flat earther kicking out a globe earther because he decided to give him the actual definition of perspective.
I agree with all that, but the reason I asked the snowball effect is the takeover of the channel was farther down the road from its creation, but the financial aspect of it doesn't sound like there was anything legitimate about it from day one.
Yeah, see, what happened was that Steve McRae had assets into the show, and he wanted to withdraw those assets after he had a better understanding of how the paperwork would be done for the government, so that he wouldn't get screwed over when it comes to the law and such. So he asked Kyle Curtis to hold on to this shit as I have stake in this show, and I can go ahead and withdraw it whenever I fucking damn well please. And yes, that is legal. We've asked actual fucking lawyers about this. Like, I don't know, maybe the actual lawyer that's suing Kyle at the current moment in time. So yeah, that shit was legal. Nothing about what Steve McRae did was illegal.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Is from Kyle's side, at any point was Kyle legitimate on the money?
I don't think he was. No, I think he's spent, because if you look at the evolution of the Non Sequitur show, now this is my opinion. I have absolutely nothing solid to back this up. I think he had it in his head to spend all the money because he honestly did not think that Steve McRae was going to actually sue him.
Yeah, well,
this was a total miscalculation on his part. Now, I do also need to illustrate one more time, Steve McRae did absolutely nothing fraudulent, but because Steve McRae was being cautious about the money, Kyle saw that caution as an opportunity to fuck him over underneath the assumption that Steve McRae wouldn't do anything and would basically lie down and take the fact that nearly $30,000 was stolen from him.
Have you talked to Uni about this during your daily snuggle sessions?
Well, about that. Usually, what happens is that when we're giving each other's those naked beard oil massages. No, we never talked about this.
Well, there was something else that you guys actually did talk about, which was a warning, which I actually think that that amalgamation of people were actually in Kyle's ear, not from day one, but from shortly thereafter. So I think Kyle may have, the initial agreement may have been on the up and up, but that's where it started to turn. Wasn't at day one or before day one, but shortly in the life thereafter. That's my thoughts on it. That's what I suspect happened. But again,
Unfortunately,
yeah.
Kyle hasn't been around to answer any question. I sure as shit ain't gonna give him a phone call to ask him myself, because at this point, who cares? He made it. He made an error in judgment, and he decided to double down on it, even after being served. He had multiple opportunities to set this shit right, and he chose the fucking hard way. So you know what? Fucking deal with the consequences in that case.
True.
Regardless who was in his ear, regardless what they were saying, regardless how many people have a massive hate boner for Steve McRae, it does not excuse what Kyle did. Kyle is his own person, and I believed at the time was smart enough to decide, maybe I shouldn't screw over my 50% partner on this. Maybe I should, I don't know, talk to him like a fucking adult.
Yeah, we see how that worked out when he actually was forced to talk.
He was forced to talk, and he basically said, nope, fuck you guys, fuck you guys, fuck you guys. That was the wrong move, buddy, says the guy who got sued less than, I don't know, a few weeks later.
And lost.
So since the initiation of this, multiple times Steve has had people from Kyle's side onto his chats to banter and talk and chat about everything that's going on. At any point, has Kyle invited an opponent to discuss the facts?
No.
He spoke about this briefly with a few other people who, quite frankly, already have a hate boner for Steve McRae, and for quite frankly, seem to be very hungry for a Whopper. That'll be funny in a few months. But when it comes to Kyle and what he's been saying on it, he will only have conversations with people who are against Steve McRae. So
he lives in the echo chamber.
If you try to come to him with a legitimate question, but you're not a Steve McRae hater, he won't fucking talk to you. Because he knows how flimsy his position is. He knows he cannot justify why he did what he did with the fucking money.
Well,
why he did what they did when it comes to ownership of the show. He can't fucking justify any of that. He literally committed theft. He literally did theft right there in front of everybody and screwed over a thriving YouTube channel. That's going to take a lot of work to rebuild after this, but it will be rebuilt and it will be better than ever. But still, it's like we've been dealing with this shit for 200 fucking days while this motherfucker is running away with the goddamn money.
Yeah.
Or at least trying to. Not going to succeed, but trying to.
Well, so here's the beautiful thing about the legal ramifications. If the final judgment and order does include the financial value that Steve is requesting, Kyle, good luck owning anything or holding a legitimate job.
Mm-hmm. And also on top of that, Steve McRae's winnings they can't be dismissed in bankruptcy even. So Steve McRae is going to get his fucking money whether Kyle fucking likes it or not. No, wages being garnished, shit like that.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the only way that Steve wouldn't get his money at that point is if Kyle literally becomes a couch hopper and has no semblance of a reasonable life. Because as soon as he has a legitimate above board paying job, his wages are going to be garnished. To what extent, we don't know. But that sort of outstanding judgment can come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, and not only that, but you also have to think about the other side of this mathematical coin, which is Steve McRae was suing for triple damages. So by screwing over Steve McRae of, like, let's hypothetically say around $30,000. I'm just pulling that number out of my ass, but let's say it's $30,000. He would actually be on the hook for triple that, $90,000. And it seems to me, as of right now, that if this is going the way that's going, Steve McRae may just win every fucking penny of that legally. Mm-hmm. Legally, he will be owed $90,000. So not only did you fuck over a YouTube channel, not only are you, one of the front runners for Dumb Fuck of the Year. Again, who won will be discussed later. But not only were you like, one of the popular contenders, let's put it that way, but now you're going to be on the hook for what you screwed him over times 3.
And I think Steve did it right. And the filing fees and legal fees for it all too.
Yep. Okay. Whether that's within the 90,000 that they're asking for, I'm not exactly sure. Again, all the details, I would recommend going to Steve McRae directly for them. But as of right now, what is the case is this: Kyle has royally fucked himself, and there's not a goddamn way that you could spin this into a win for him. Kyle screwed himself financially beyond recognition at this point, to the point where his wages could be garnished. And if Kyle doesn't fucking pay up or surrender the channel back over to Steve McRae, its rightful fucking owner, then Kyle's going to have a new boyfriend by the name of Bubba. Don't drop the joke, motherfucker.
I thought we weren't giving him what he wanted.
Oh, see, that's the thing is, there's no lube in jail.
Bubba has skills. Bubba is a lot like Pennywise. He likes his victims afraid.
Have to say, the actor that they got for the new version of Pennywise, better than I expected him to be.
Mm-hmm. Just remember, he had every opportunity to make this bullshit right again. Steve gave him every opportunity, and every single time they said, "Nope, fuck you, I'm doing it my way." Well, his way is apparently to get sued. And from what I've heard, Unirock is now batting for Kyle, maybe? I don't know. I fucking blocked him and I haven't been paying attention. And guess what? I've been having the time of my life. It's amazing how much your life improves when you ignore shitheads like that.
I find, especially when his entire life is nothing about stirring the pot.
Oh, yeah.
Be a productive member of society, you fuckhead.
Yeah, good luck with that. But I'm just asking. Listen, Unirock can continue to lie and bat for Katie Polson and bat for Kyle and say Steve McRae is a piece of shit all day long. I really don't care. And here's the thing: no one else should. But I am going to ask them personally. Please stop telling people that we're bros, Unirock, and that we had these long, intimate conversations. We didn't. I had one conversation about a single issue, and you decided to ignore that fucking advice, apparently. So a lot of good that fucking did.
Yeah, it's to me, it's laughable, especially because if I really wanted to, I could go to a particular place and just poke and watch him dance. Watch him just completely get played like a violin. But I've been laughing at other shit lately, so I'll go back to my chew toy later.
Oh, Jared, this is a terrible idea, but can we create a sock account and become one of his sycophants and then feed him like the dumbest conspiracy and see if he bites onto it?
Are you sure that hasn't already been put out there?
Sorry, disregard.
Or it already hasn't happened?
Because clearly he'll believe anything he sees on his Discord.
Let's go ahead and play the Twilight Zone music right here.
Sorry, I don't have that available. But I do have this one for you, Red.
I love Dick.
Steve.
What?
I was in Steve's New Year's Day hangout, and at the end of the stream, he was like, he said this,
I love Dick.
and then said, "Anybody make a clip out of that?" So I went ahead and did.
Well played. Well played.
As if he needed to give permission, anyways.
Especially when Chesh asked for something like this.
Neat. Well, I will go ahead and just tell you all this. Someone has won Dumb Fuck of the Year, and I'll explain who on Wednesday. But as of right now, I am going to go engage in sins of the flesh, and I wish you all a good night.
Later.
Later, Reds.
Later, man.
Now, I'm not saying that anyone should go poke the lone pupper any little bit, but yeah, I think that guy might be interested seeing those last, 20, 30 minutes?
Yeah, he won't come watch that.
Oh yeah, he will. He'll come and give it the hate view, because keep in mind the lone little pupper has said on multiple occasions that he would love to throat punch me.
Hold on.
Okay, Jared. Did he fabricate, or do you think someone fed him that you and Pig were in cahoots with
With Katie Joy?
Tim Osmond? No,
with
Tim Osmond.
With Tim Osmond?
Even though he was talking about the wrong fucking
both.
Tim Osmond.
So, here's the thing. I think it's both. Because there was a very loose connection there that Uni actually used as part of his justification. And that was the fact that Pig has been in a hangout with Tim Osmond. The problem was, it was 4 fucking years ago.
Yeah, and he was a spy while he was in there.
Oh, no, well, no, back then there were no spies. The spy issue was something else completely, a later thing, which, yeah, if someone had found out about...
Are you having another heart attack, you wished?
What?
You're breathing
Holy
kind of heavy
shit,
there, buddy.
Breathing. You're either fucking
I'm
or dying.
I am. You know what? If
He's
I
adjusting
wanted
his
to
trailer
die,
hitch.
I just... Holy shit. If I wanted to fucking have a heart attack, I'd tell you guys. Yes, I
No,
wanna
you
have a
wouldn't.
fucking heart attack. Yes, I want to die. So what? Go fuck yourselves. I got a 22 caliber air rifle that will take care of that problem permanently.
No.
All I
See,
have to do is eat the barrel.
no. You said that you would tell us if you were having a heart attack. Because of the pool that was going on, I don't think you would.
Hey, Jared, how does this look?
You know what? Your pool is getting too fucking excited over me pissing in the toilet.
Yeah,
That's
looks
what
good.
your pool
That
is
looks good.
getting to.
All right. Anyways, as I was saying, so the issues that were potentially loosely put together to try to make the association were not even close to circumstantial at best. See, and this is why I have the freaking clip, and why a couple months ago I said, if anyone hears anyone talking about me or anything that's gone on, and you have any sort of questions, I'm right here. Let's talk.
You know, there's part of the problem to that is that I haven't had any questions. Everything Rock has brought up, I've been able to figure out on my own without you or this panel or any other panel to figure out. Okay? And that's simply because, yes, I have appeared away from Steve McRae on the Non-Sequitur show. Okay? And trust me, when Steve tells me that, when Steve tells me, and this was in May, and I'll go back and dig it up if you guys need to have the archive. When Kyle Curtis tells me that Reg Rhetoric is the shit. Is the fucking bomb. And then 2 weeks later, pushes Stephen Craig to the fucking curb. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, it's almost like birds of a disingenuous feather flock together.
You know what? I could say bird, but I could also say queer. Okay? And you know what?
No. He'd be a disgrace to that term anyways.
You know what? You know what? Kyle Curtis fits that to a curb.
Oh, well, no. I know Kyle is queer. Kyle is gay. And you know what? You give him the opportunity, dude is fabulous. But Unirock would be a deterrent and would sully that name. And hell, his behavior alone sullies any tag that you could put to him.
I'll admit that.
And I'm leaving Unirock out of this argument. And the reason why is because everything that's gone down between Steve McCrae and Kyle Curtis, and the reason why Kyle Curtis will forever have my vote as dumb fuck of the fucking year, as dumb fuck of the fucking decade. And let's face it, we're not out of the decade yet until 2021.
Thank you. Somebody that agrees with me on that. That's been bugging me all week. People are like, oh, welcome to the new decade. I'm like, it's not a new decade. We didn't have year zero between 1 and 1.
It's not a new decade until 2021.
Well,
it's not a new decade until 2021.
So
God knows.
Hang on.
Brethren, I love you guys, but there is no zero in a new decade. There is only a 1 year in a new decade.
What? No,
I've been doing the time and date.
No. So here's the question. There, you say that there's no zero in a decade. Because here's a question. You're either using year zero as the first year of the decade or the last.
It's always the last.
It's always the last.
So when hang on. When was the decade of the 90s?
91 to 2000, because 2000 wasn't part of the 21st century.
I bow to Dave Brown's wisdom here.
So 1990 was not part of the 90s.
No, it's part of the 80s.
Oh, this could be
1990 was part of the 80s. We're headed to the 80s, into the 90s. Thank you.
And I'm not trying to cherry pick data here, Jared. I'll even post this so y'all can see my source. I'm using time and date, and I disagree with the source, but their main point around the centuries is where I think the hang-up is. You-ish shush. You-ish shush. I will mute you again, you-ish, if you don't shut up. When centuries and millennia don't, what they're talking about is, do decades begin with round years or not? Because centuries and millennia don't, and it does get a little more complicated when we look at centuries and millennia. Contrary to popular belief, the 21st century and the third millennium did not begin on January 1st, 2000, but 1 year later on New Year's Day 2001.
That was going to be my
And
next
that's because there is no year zero between 1 BCE and 1 CE. So why would we then say decades start on a 0 year? If you don't have a 0 year to start the centuries and millennia, then why do we do it for decades?
Are we having a pedantic fight?
Yes. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Because here's the thing, Jay, count the 20s for me.
21, 22, 23, 24.
So 20 isn't part of the 20s?
Not in decades, no.
No, I'm just talking numbers in general.
Well, numbers in general, yes, I would agree with that.
Because that's where the issue is that special case for the years where it's counterintuitive to the rest of the number scheme. And here's the thing.
Hey, you know what? The rest of the number scheme does not give a care. And with that, Jay Brown and I agree.
Because that had so much relevance to where I was going.
No, that had nothing to do with where you were going.
See, you're supposed to get drunk during the stream, not before the stream.
And you know what? I didn't have much of a choice.
Yes, you did.
I either had to suffer with insufferable back pain before the stream or during the stream. I would rather suffer it after the stream.
After the stream, you're going to be passed the fuck out.
You know what? I've done that on Side Strikes, and God rest his soul.
Yeah. Anyways. But even with the whole date thing and what timeanddate.com has put out, you still have a difficulty because you still come across the sources where historians refer to the decade of the 20s, and they're referring to events that took place in 1920. So there is a lot of inconsistency on that, on when you do and do not count the 0 year of a decade as part of the decade at the beginning versus the end of the prior.
Okay, so I count up until 364, 59 as part of the 1920s, but I count 36000 as part of the 30s. I don't see the conflict here.
No, the conflict is what Time and Date says is the decade doesn't begin until January 1st of whatever preceding numbers and then 1.
No. It was Time and Date is saying that the decades start on the 0 year.
No, Time and Date was saying the decades start at year 1 of the...
No. They were saying that the centuries and the millennia start there. At first glance, it looks straightforward. Decades, periods of 10 years, and end with the year counts over to the 9 to a 0. So, for example, New Year's Day in 1980 marks the beginning of the 80s. After all, they're called the 80s, right? Not the 81s. Then they go into the centuries, and millennia don't.
So here's how I would discuss it. Are we talking a technical definition of terms or a colloquial definition of terms?
Well, that
needs to be the first question.
Well, and here's the thing: it doesn't alleviate the gray area. It does.
If we're talking technical, Jay is absolutely right.
Well, no, see, here's the thing, though. It doesn't actually alleviate the gray area because you will still have historical sources and actual historians referring to the year 2000 as the first year of the 21st century because...
But is that technical or colloquial?
No, these are historians saying it.
They're historians. They're not numerologists.
No,
it's the same as me telling my kids to go get in the car when I actually own an SUV. If they correct me, I'm going to slap them.
Well, no, these are no. But the reason why I'm mentioning the historians is because these are people who are actually the ones that utilize the whole 17th century for the 1600s of the year, and they refer to it. They refer to the beginning of the century as the 0 year of that number. And that's where the gray area is there.
But there is a big but here. They're doing it to organize the numerical sequence of years. They're not doing it to initiate an origin of time. The origin of time actually starts before BCE or be or whatever.
Yeah, if you really want to go to
They're
the
going-
origin of time, I was going to say, what the fuck does the Big Bang have to do with this?
Okay, well, you know what? Big Bang actually has a pretty big him due to this, and you know what? I don't have enough pipe tobacco or nicotine.
Well, if we wanted to go back,
into
if we wanted to reset time to based on when the Big Bang theory or the Big Bang started, we have to go back 14 or 13.6,
No.
13.7 billion years ago.
We have to go back almost 65 billion years ago.
Are you building a house
No.
over there?
Yes, I'm knocking out pipes to clear out for smoking.
Okay, so you wished. I think you just confused with when the age of the dinosaurs ended with when the Big Bang happened. Because that was 65-ish million years ago. And when it comes to the Big Bang, we're only in the 13, almost 14 trillion years ago.
Okay. And you know what? I will. You know what? I'll do like I did last edition. I'll stand corrected.
Yeah.
Don't lie, you're sitting.
You know what? I'll sit corrected. I will sit corrected then. Fuck you, Furball. God damn.
You're welcome.
What the fuck? Are you guys hacking my fucking phone camera or something? Shit.
I don't like the color pattern on your walls. That's all I'm saying.
What's the color pattern on my walls? You know what? If you get that right, I'll fucking hang up now.
I can't tell you. It's classified.
Bullshit. Give me the color pattern or get the fuck out.
I'm going to guess pink with giant purple cocks on it.
Wrong and wrong. You want to hang up now?
No, I'm good.
I love you. You know what, Furball? Honestly, brother, I think the world of you because you're the last one of us standing.
I'm
And
sitting
about
as well,
that.
just so you know.
You know what? I don't care if you're standing. I don't care.
I'm sorry, I'm being a dick today.
You know what?
Sorry.
You know what,
You're
Furball?
making up for lost time.
That
I
damn
am.
cake he's eating.
You know what? As a CWO3, I salute you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so
This
When
is
is
an
this one?
interesting path for a solar.
know
Oh,
what?
2026.
No. Let me say this. I appreciate Furball for hanging in there for better than 20 years.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He did better than all of us on this panel. And if you can't admit that, you need to get the fuck out of this panel.
What you don't realize is I just didn't have any other options. Or, a marketable skill set.
I don't care about your options. Okay? You hung in there for 20
Thank you.
years. You sacrificed life, family, friends. They end up here.
So, is there any way we can do a GoFundMe to get you wished up to the tip of Greenland for this one?
Oh,
Only
no,
if- Just the tip?
you're not
Only
gonna
if
get
we can
me
leave
up
'em
to
there.
Any type of any shit.
Oh, but you would enjoy this one.
Then send
There's
it
an
to me through
American Eclipse
Discord.
before then.
Yeah, but
You know what?
that's not as fun.
I've got a lot of wanking to do with the one-eyed monster in my life. Yeah, thank you.
Again, I'm all for funding the trip, but it has to be one way.
I agree
You
with
know
you on
what?
that.
You
I
know
will
what?
totally agree
You
with you
know-
on that one.
You know what, Jared? it's a one-way trip to meet you and shake your hand. I'd agree to it.
He's at that I love you moment of being drunk, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
No,
I like Chris's comment in the chat.
No, wait a second. This goes beyond the I am drunk moment in chat. This goes to, brutally honest, that if I ever got to meet one of you guys, I would shake your hands. I would seriously do that. I would seriously thank you.
Well, if I ever end up in Texas, I will let you know while I'm there, and I'll take you out for a
And
beer,
you know
man.
what? If you end up in Texas, you're gonna have to suck my dick to get me back down there. Fuck.
Oh, where you at now?
Back in he's
God
back in
damn,
misery. Can't you
100
tell by his voice?
I am. Wait a second. I am 120 miles from Fort Lost in the Wood, Missouri.
No, it's misery.
Oh, yeah, I drove right by you.
You're not
You
not
chewed
anywhere
my ass
fucking
for that,
close.
too.
You're not anywhere fucking close to me, Furball.
No,
No, I
oh
drove
my
by
God.
you, and then you chewed my ass on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, you drove right by me and didn't tell me, oh, wait a second, I'm going through Springfield, Missouri.
I was
The
also
fuck
driving through a
you.
blizzard.
Wait a second, a blizzard? No, that was a freaking sprinkle, you bitch.
Are you forgetting that he has been in Korea for over a year?
We
That
also had
was a
2 cars,
fucking-
2 trailers, 2 children, 3 dogs, and a hamster.
And you know what? I would
And a
have
partridge
said
in a
your
pear
2
tree?
cars. I would have said your 2 cars, your 2 children, you, your wife,
And the demons.
your dogs.
You're forgetting the kids.
That's the demons.
No, because his kids would have been counted as my kids.
Aw. Well, so if I ever
Because-
make it back to Lost in the Woods, I'll let you know, and I will take you out for a beer.
Because you know what, I would do more than that for you, Furball. I would take your entire family out to dinner. I would take y'all out for the
This is a first trip
absolute
to Australia.
best. I would absolutely take y'all out for the best
down.
fucking meal Missouri ever had to offer.
April
I would take
2023.
y'all to Humbert.
That could be fun.
We could,
I would let
So
them
are you-
throw
Wolfie.
rolls. I would let them throw rolls at your kids.
So where in relation to Leonard Wood are you, direction-wise?
West.
Okay, so we drove from Kansas City to St. Louis as part of our trip, so you were a bit south of that.
I was a bit south of that, but you know what? I would have driven to St. Louis to meet you. I would have driven to St. Louis to shake your hand. You know what? I seriously mean it. I would
Thank
have
you,
taken
sir.
your hand. I would have told my children, thank you. Tell that man, thank you for your service, and give him a hug.
Oh, thank you.
And you know what?
And then you come up,
My
give him a
kids-
hug after with the reach around.
You know what? He would have enjoyed my reach around too. Trust me. But no, Furman, trust me. You ever meet my kids? Trust me, they'll be the first ones to look at you and say, "Sir, thank you for appreciating my father, and thank you for your service."
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be doing a lot of travel over the next couple of years, so if I am ever back in misery, I will let you know.
If you ever end up back in Missouri, you better let me know, because my
I will.
kids, even after my death, will be there. They will be there to meet you. They will be there to take you out to dinner.
That could be a fun spot to camp out at.
That would be.
You know what, Jared? My kids would take you out to dinner. My kids have orders. My kids have
You're
orders
missing the
to take all
conversation
of
on
you
the
son of a bitches. You know what? My kids have orders to take all of you son of a bitches out to dinner.
In Australia?
Go fuck you. No, at Lambert's in Missouri. Lambert's
I've been to Lambert's.
in Missouri.
Lambert's is awesome. They got some awesome muffins that'll just throw at you from across the room.
No shit, Sherlock. God damn it, Furball, shut the
Let's
fuck up.
Well,
Let
let's
these,
see. How,
let these fucks figure out Lambert's on their own.
Is it anything like Dick's Last Resort?
Oh no, it's even worse.
Wait. So it's worse than the waiter coming up and calling you a fucking asshole and walking away?
No, it's a family place.
Yeah. See, that's
No, it's a family place, but you're going to get drilled in the head with rolls.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, Dick Slash Resort is going to come up to you, call up you a fucking asshole, tell you to suck your fucking dick, and tell you that if you can't fuck your sucking dick, then you're not getting service for the night. I know about Dick Slash Resort. I used to work at Dick Slash Resort as personal security for Dick Slash Resort. Oh God! Don't get me started.
I think that would be a fun road trip too.
that could be. It's how far by car?
Guys, I dare you guys.
1.3K.
I dare you guys. I dare you assholes to show up.
I'd want to do it on a
wearing
bike.
a fucking tie. I dare you assholes to show up wearing a fucking tie to Dick's Slash Resort.
There you go. That's how long it is on a bike.
No. Wait,
No,
wait,
motorcycle,
Jay Brown.
dipshit.
Wait, Jay Brown. Wait, guys. I will pay for all of us to meet up at Dallas Dick's Last Resort. You give me a time and date, I will fucking pay for every meal.
Sorry, I'm a bit biased, but I think the waiters at the one in Boston are bigger dicks and actually have more creative insults.
Well, it is Boston.
No.
Exactly.
You have not been to Dallas. And please wear a tie. Please wear a tie.
No, see, here's the thing. If I were to do that, I would embarrass all you fuckers because I would end up pulling a fucking Sacha Baron Cohen where I would wear nothing but a Speedo and a tie in there.
And you know what, Jared? You know what? I would bow to your testicular fortitude in such.
See, it's really easy to do something like that when you have no shame. When you are so comfortable with yourself that you quite literally don't give a fuck what other people think.
And not the fuck was given.
Jared, wait a second. Jared, have you ever hosted a divorce party in Dex?
In what?
In Dex. Have you ever supported or ever been a part of a divorce party of that restaurant?
No.
I have.
I've seen what they've done to wedding parties or people who are engaged.
Weddings are just funerals with cake.
And that's exactly how they treat it.
Wait. No, God, you have no fucking idea. I will host a divorce party in that restaurant. I have been planning it for 10 years. I will host one. Let's see your best. Let's see your worst. I guarantee you, she will come back and she will tell you, thank you. My vagina is open for business.
So are we ever going to get to actually talking about eclipses?
No, because someone's not paying attention.
Only if the vaginas are eclipsed by the labia majora.
So how
This one's 2028, by the way.
Oh, a little. Well, that one would give a better shot, and actually, yeah, you would have a better chance in Sydney. Yeah, Sydney's getting the full.
Unless it's on fire.
Well, what time
I'm using Google Earth to try and or Google Maps to try and see where the path is
July.
going.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about it being on fire for that one there, Furball, because it's going to be the middle of winter for them.
Yeah.
Hey, Jared.
Where is On New Zealand, where is Hobbiton?
Hobbiton?
Because if you could watch
Jared.
the eclipse from Frodo Baggins' doorstep, would be awesome.
Well,
Yeah,
let's take a
Hey,
look.
Jared.
gonna have to
Jared,
look up the actual
Jared,
name of the town for that one.
Nope.
Jared,
go to-
Jared,
It's a resort. Yeah, I like
Jared
an
or Jay
attraction.
Brown? Jared or Jay Brown? One of the two.
What you need, drunkie?
Mute real quick and then mute.
You have the same button.
Kid!
Wow.
Hey, you know what? I tried to avoid you destroying your eardrums.
No, here's the thing. It wasn't even that loud. It's just you were telling one of us to mute as if it would have affected. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did you mute him, Jay? Or
I muted him once before.
Oh, okay. Wait, you did it, Furball?
I tried. I think Jay beat me to it because then I couldn't unmute.
It's funny. He was going to yell, and he was trying to get one of us to mute by not saying mute me. That would have made so much more sense. But then again, so what do you think? Five or 6 sheets to the wind?
I'm gonna go with 5 because he's not quite sailor drunk yet, but he's getting there.
Yeah. I was
So
about to ask when we're going to call the MAs out on him.
Furball, this is kind of roughly the area of Hobbiton.
Oh, shit. That
Damn
would have
it.
been awesome to watch it from Hobbiton.
Although I wonder how close to it Planner Walk is. I know.
Yeah, I've been drunker than him and made it to the ship before. So you know.
Oh, there have been
We all have.
No. There's been times I don't know how I got back to the ship.
Exactly.
How frequently is the last memory out in town and the next memory is in your bunk?
I've had that. I was shocked to find out that I actually made it across the gangplank and down the hatch and down into my berthing and lower level on my own without help.
How often did you have to clean up puke in the morning?
Do you really want to know?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Let's put it this way. There is a reason why I went for middle or top rack every chance I could. You don't want to be on the bottom.
You don't want that shower?
Oh, you think it's just vomit that you have to worry about?
Poor Furball, he doesn't understand.
No, I'm a soldier. We just go out and get drunk and then beat up cabbies when they want us to pay them for the drive back.
Oh no. See,
They don't understand. He doesn't understand Navy drunk.
Okay, so something else to remember there, Furball, with it is there's usually a bathroom directly connected to where the racks are. It's connected to the berthing space. How often do you think someone who's drunk while we're in port actually makes it the entire distance from their rack to the actual urinal in the head?
Rarely, if ever.
So think about sleeping on the bottom rack and one of your cube mates is just gotten back from a bender.
So the important question, I think, though, is are the mattresses thick enough so that when they piss themselves, does it drip through?
Oh, Jay, pull up a U.S. Navy coffin rack so we can explain this to him.
Number 1, no. Number 2, well, it's in a metal pan anyway, so.
Yeah.
It doesn't drip through because it's on a metal pan, but the next time you move that bunk, it's in a pool.
Oh no. So here is the kicker. As you can see here, the actual platform with the mattress on it is hinged. So when they're laying down is one thing. Say they go to open up.
Then you got the problem, yeah.
That's when you get the problem because it all goes towards that back seam and it's going to go into their own stuff. but some of it might actually end up coming down the wall.
That's of course the real drawback to the whole thing too, is that if it happens to be that the metal hinged part does in fact leak, that it's more likely to leak on your own stuff because you store it under your fucking.
That looks like a little wide there at the top. I don't know.
On a regular ship, the top is wide open.
That's probably, that looks like surface thing. They have a lot more space than we do. So.
Oh, that's like comfort space.
I mean, look at how deep that freaking storage is in there.
That's true.
Man, I would have loved to have that much.
And it's organized too.
We get like half of that.
Well, here's the thing: we got all of that. Plus, on the carrier, we got stand-up locker too.
See, you guys rubbing in how shitty it was to live in such small, confined quarters. But have you ever jerked off in a porta potty when it was 110 degrees?
Nope.
Yeah, see,
well,
that's
there's this one time in Pearl.
That's the Army struggles there. That's the Army struggles. Having a heat stroke while you jerk off in a porta potty. I think it's a medical condition. You can probably claim it with the VA.
As long as you go and get it reported, yes.
What were you doing?
Cardio.
Exercising.
What? Wait, why weren't you hydrated? I was, just not enough. Well, where were you?
There, that looks a little more familiar.
Yeah, that's a decent
better.
view.
That's more like it.
Now, what I found interesting, so there are a couple YouTubers who are active Navy, and one of them is like, oh, I just went on my first deployment as an E5.
So he had space.
No, as an E5, you don't get any more room. But
No,
it's not until you make Chief that you actually are in your own dedicated space where you might have more room.
Sorry.
Might. E6 and below are in the same berthing space on the surface side of the house.
Unirok trying to pretend he was something?
Don't even. But now when you... So, I immediately knew what type of ship she was on just by the way the rack was set up. So, the way you can tell is on an aircraft carrier, you're going to see stuff like that. Wide open, decent amount of room. But, no. There was one that you showed before that had the straps.
That?
No, the actual fabric straps. So that was a carrier. Before that one. Nope.
This one
Back,
right here?
that one there. Those straps there.
See if it'll load up here.
Destroyers and cruisers have those because they tend to rock around a lot more.
We had them.
Yeah, we had them too.
is that a sleep belt?
Submarines roll really well. So yeah.
Well,
that's to keep you from rolling out of your rack when you're doing like 40 degrees either direction. I used them once. We were under that hurricane, kept with those orders to come up to periscope death occasionally. Never made it there, but we had orders.
Got close. Oh, nope. Screw that.
We were getting wave slaps on our bow planes at 150 feet.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh, that's Oriskany.
What the hell?
Oh, okay. That caption at the top of it is entirely wrong. That is a controlled sinking to make it into an artificial reef.
Yeah, I know.
So, wait a minute. What year is that? Oh, hey, that's the kitty when I was on it.
I think I can see you.
No, when that picture was taken, I was asleep.
You had mid watches.
Lazy bastard.
Oh no, 12 on, 12 off. And
Port and starboard. Yay.
yeah, but also being one of the few CDIs, I often would find a way to rack out in the middle of at times, because there were times I was up until 2200 because of a Y code that had to go up to the flight deck.
Yay, fun.
Yeah.
Want me to go back?
Trying to see, 8 ball or 74.
74.
Yep, that's a Stennis. I've been on that boat too.
You mean that luxury liner?
Yeah, by comparison.
I just realized that I might get the chance to go on a fucking carrier.
Now there's a boat. It's a Cadillac of a boat, but it's a boat. She's stationed out of Bangor now.
Oh yeah.
I know historically, occasionally SecDef will go do carrier visits, and our guys will have to go, do the site survey and all that, and land on the fucking carrier out in the middle of the ocean.
Oh,
and
you'll have fun with that.
As the OIC of his travel security detail, I get to look at the list and say, I'm going to go to that one.
Yeah, if you have the chance to get a capture and then a cat shot off, go for it. It's an experience. Wait, was that the I-100 or 1000, the aircraft carrier one?
I think it's supposed
that
to
one.
be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that submersible carrier, the
That the
Japs
Japanese, yeah. See, and that was another thing with that guy on Planner Walks earlier. He tried to say that by advocating an all or nothing, that I was saying that their option had to be the just all out do it, and that it would be Fallout without the fun technology. And it was like, motherfucker, most of your technological advancements are because of the military, especially during war.
Yeah.
Anybody else see what's wrong with this caption and this image?
Yeah, no, that's the Regulus missile, not a torpedo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an SSG.
Eesh. Oh, and there's another diesel. What was that?
Here's luxurious submarine berthing here. This is where the captain sleeps.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the CO stateroom. That's the largest berthing room.
Yeah.
Now, increase that by about 4 or 5 times, and you have the CO's at sea quarters on the kitty.
Someone's been watching Star Wars too much.
The import was even longer. No, that's not Star Wars. That shit started with Wing Commander.
Mark Hamill and his crossover of various things.
Mm-hmm. But even before that, when you look at the original version of the Tiger Claw from Wing Commander 1.
Yep, good old days of PlayStation. Oh, Tech, here's some good berthing too.
Torpedo room berthing. I've been there before.
So,
up to that one.
Now, who ends up getting assigned there, aside from... It would make sense the people who actually work there, but... Because I doubt they would be nice enough to say, oh, you work in here? Yeah, we'll let you get away and sleep somewhere else. Yeah, no, I don't see that happening.
I mean, not necessarily.
I heard it was usually the junior personnel, not necessarily the nubs, but...
Yeah, it could be junior personnel and or no. I mean, there's some ways actually the submarine berthing actually better than the racks in normal berthing. So,
yeah, because even though in Missile Compartment second level, you were sleeping between the supply racks. You could sit up in your rack. You could stand up. You could do what you needed to do, and not have to worry about hitting your head on anything. The only thing that sucked is you got racked out for parts.
Yeah, if they were doing any, if they're moving torpedoes around, yeah, you'd lose your rack temporarily. But I mean, it was usually the racks were a bit wider, the mattresses were a bit better. There was actually more storage in the compartment under. I'm trying to find a picture for ours. So there were, it wasn't necessarily bad to be berth and torpedo room. There were actually positive stuff.
Weren't walking on cans usually.
Yeah. You didn't generally have anybody above or below you. You were in there, if your bunkmate was a torpedo, we had like 3 racks to a stow.
Oh, it's the Georgia.
I can't find one.
Oh, that's photoshopped. That's photoshopped. That's definitely photoshopped because the Earth is flat.
Yeah, about that. Simultaneous launch like that would happen.
I know it would. Let's see here.
All right, there's another Nimitz class. Okay.
That's interesting.
This is a
must be from an anime.
Well, no, they're saying it's a Project 41 class boomer
Yeah, no.
by DeviantArt.
Well, yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think that would work too well. Because
No.
these two would be fighting each other no matter what they did.
Well, and not just that. Look at where the sail is in relation to how close to the rear end it is. Where is your actual reactor and maneuvering space going to be compared to the control room? Now, unless you're doing disassociated optics, kind of like what the Virginia class does.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're using photonic mass, you could technically put that wherever's convenient.
Yeah, wherever you want. Now that's interesting. Deploy a couple subs off of the side. For a diesel, I could see that making sense.
Yeah. I'm so surprised that people didn't actually think this was a legit article when it first came out.
Eventually they're going to. I mean, they've already done it for a number.
They already do.
Yeah.
The Virginia class photonic masks, they do. And they use basically like a joystick for, flight simulator for controlling the sub.
I would just like to point out that there is way too much semen in this room right now for my comfort.
Just enjoy it.
Well, technically, the Jared there would have been an airman, not a seaman.
Yeah, it's still a 50-50 ratio. You wish doesn't count.
See.
And of course, also means that as junior enlisted, you no longer get the fun part of like actually helm.
Yeah, I know.
Is it raining out? My puppy just came back in from outside. She's wet.
What, they use Bluetooth now for comms instead of walkie-talkies?
Are you sure it's not a wireless headset to a walkie? Because I was saying one of the one of the first classes in my duty section actually had a headset that he bought to connect to the on watch two-way for the duty sector, the duty section first class, and some of them they would give him such a hard time for it.
Was that Pinkerton? Nope, not him. Looked like my old Eng.
Alright, so Sean Carroll says sorry, a submarine from fiction made real I would love to see. Blue Submarine number 6.
What's that from?
Let's find out.
Here you go. It is from
It's an
apparently a show
anime.
called Blue Submarine 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be on Toonami. See, I don't remember seeing that one. But that does look nifty. No, the one I would find interesting if the technology was actually viable or possible. Sequest.
Yes.
That would be a nifty one to see.
This is a newer picture, but it's getting close. But just imagine taking
Here you go. Share with everybody.
over there on the left there are the racks that they would put in on the submarine, like the torpedo stoves, and you'd put a curtain up between. A curtain would be put up. The storage on those racks actually had more storage than the ones up in regular berthing, so you actually end up having a little bit more room.
More room for less privacy and quiet.
We never really had any privacy anywhere. Actually, the torpedo room was generally quiet.
Well, yeah, most of the busy shit happened after there.
You'd only have one person normally on watch there.
Yeah, even on a boomer, we only had one person on watch.
So, unless you're actually launching something, it's pretty damn quiet.
Here you go.
Is that guy the oh shit guy?
The guy in there? No, it's the torpedo man on the watch.
Yeah, the oh shit. We need to launch one. You're the guy that's in there.
Oh, that's an interesting model.
Well, yeah, someone made a RC version of it. See, it's the propulsion at the back that really fascinates me, and they never really got into it.
I think the Navy should adopt the submarines from Phantom Menace.
No.
Because, come on, I mean, it was strong enough to go through the core of a planet.
Yeah, I have my doubts on that. See, all the more
it survived the attack of a giant sea creature.
All the more reason why I say that Star Wars is science fantasy, whereas Star Trek is science fiction, because one of them is at least fucking plausible.
Speaking of which, so what's our topic for tomorrow? So I know what to research.
I never did talk about how that Sequest moved, so yeah, that is interesting. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's something like a Caterpillar drive.
Yeah, Caterpillar drive that they could go damn near 40 knots with no cavitation.
So what's our topic for tomorrow, Jared?
Kind of randomness.
Yeah.
Because there has been a bunch of stuff that's come out recently about Picard that should probably go over. There's also, well, and so here's the thing. This actually is leading into it. We actually have had the request to kind of help grow the viewership of opening it up from being solely Star Trek all the time to doing the occasional other series as well, maybe even as a comparison. So that's where I think this week could be kind of hodgepodge back into it. That That way we're not just jumping right back into it with the movie because of some of the other stuff that's come up. And by the way, that one Steve Shives video, we are waiting until Geostriber's available. Just because I want to torture him because I know he is the one that's going to feel the most pain during that one.
Jared, I just got to say that I did not see that coming.
All the more reason. But we are about 15 minutes away from movie night.
Yep.
So thank you all for coming. By the way, anyone out there, if you have the ability to tell Unirock to eat a dick, don't tell him that. Tell him that, oh, by the way, I saw Reds over on AT2's channel. When is Red going to show up with you, Uni? Just go ahead and poke him that way. Trust me, it'll be a lot more entertaining. So that, for those not aware, yes, we are going to be live tomorrow afternoon. And, well, Jay, what time are you out of work?
12:15, so I'll be here in time for 1300 as usual.
Okay. All right, so...
But before you go on, let me... I've got a beautiful coffee mug that is great as a sentiment towards Unirock.
Hang on. Show it
Gotta
again.
share that with everybody.
There we go. Is that the one you're going to be traveling with?
Oh, I need to. This was given to me by my work wife. This is how we say I love you.
You gotta rotate it so we can see the inside of it.
There's nothing else there.
Well, it's too new.
It's too clean. It hasn't been seasoned properly.
Give it time. Give it time. So, with that, thank you all for showing up. We will see you for Canar with Damar tomorrow afternoon. And if I remember correctly, we will not have Zezjerman with us. So we will have to give him a difficult time in the week following to make sure he gets the message to join us the next time.
Surprisingly large.
Wait.
Hold on, let me try that again.
Yeah, because the D was surprisingly large.
He'll be
That's why
here
you
in
can't make
spirit.
it.
Yeah, and with that, we will see you all tomorrow and
Does it
then next
Oh,
week.
but I'm not getting out again.
No, you keep digging, buddy.
Just compare the sizes, not necessarily the height, but the volume.
And that way Marvel Girl can get her pupper look when she comes and watches later. Oh, look at his snowball.
Who's the puppy? Snow? Hey, Snow! Hey, Bobby.
Blah 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 blah.
All
so
right.
apparently, its propulsion on the Sequest was an aqua return breather turbine, a water turbine of some sort.
So Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Well, canometer is usually magnetic, but this is more. I guess this would. I'd have to say probably this is more like a pump jet on crack.
Pretty much.
So someone really enjoyed their Sea-Doos. So that we are out.